Norway, officially the Kingdom of Norway, is a Nordic country in northern Europe, the mainland territory of which comprises the western and northernmost portion of the Scandinavian peninsula. The remote Arctic island of Jan Mayen and the archipelago of Svalbard also form part of Norway. The capital and largest city in Norway is Oslo. Norway has a total area of 385,207 square kilometers, 148,729 square miles, and had a population of 5,425,270 in January 2022. The country shares a long eastern border with Sweden at a length of 1,619 kilometers, 1,006 miles. It is bordered by Finland and Russia to the northeast and the Skagerrak Strait to the south, on the other side of which are Denmark and the United Kingdom. Norway has an extensive coastline, facing the North Atlantic Ocean and the Barents Sea. The maritime influence dominates Norway's climate, with mild lowland temperatures on the seacoasts. The interior, while colder, is also significantly milder than areas elsewhere in the world on such northerly latitudes. Even during polar night in the north, temperatures above freezing are commonplace on the coastline. The maritime influence brings high rainfall and snowfall to some areas of the country. Norway divides state power between the parliament, the cabinet, and the Supreme Court, as determined by the 1814 Constitution. The kingdom was established in 872 as a merger of many petty kingdoms and has existed continuously for 1,150 years. From 1537 to 1814, Norway was a part of the Kingdom of Denmark, Norway, and, from 1814 to 1905, it was in a personal union with the Kingdom of Sweden. Norway was neutral during the First World War and also in World War II until April 1940, when the country was invaded and occupied by Nazi Germany until the end of the war. Norway has both administrative and political subdivisions on two levels, counties and municipalities. The Sami people have a certain amount of self-determination and influence over traditional territories through the Sami Parliament and the Finnmark Act. Norway maintains close ties with both the European Union and the United States. Norway is also a founding member of the United Nations, NATO, the European Free Trade Association, the Council of Europe, the Antarctic Treaty, and the Nordic Council. Norway maintains the Nordic welfare model with universal healthcare and a comprehensive social security system, and its values are rooted in egalitarian ideals. The Norwegian state has large ownership positions in key industrial sectors, having extensive reserves of petroleum, natural gas, minerals, lumber, seafood, and fresh water. The petroleum industry accounts for around a quarter of the country's gross domestic product, GDP. On a per capita basis, Norway is the world's largest producer of oil and natural gas outside of the Middle East. Norway also has one of the lowest crime rates in the world. Although the majority of Norway's population is ethnic Norwegian, in the 21st century immigration has accounted for more than half of population growth. In 2021, the five largest minority groups in the country were the descendants of Polish, Lithuanian, Somali, Pakistani, and Swedish immigrants. Oslo is the capital and most populous city of Norway. It constitutes both a county and a municipality. The municipality of Oslo had a population of 702,543 in 2022, while the city's greater urban area had a population of 1,019,513 in 2019, and the metropolitan area had an estimated population of 1,546,706 in 2021. During the Viking Age, the area was part of Viken. Oslo was founded as a city at the end of the Viking Age in 1040 under the name Anslo, and established as a Kopstad or trading place in 1048 by Harald Hardrada. The city was elevated to a bishopric in 1070 and a capital under Håkon V of Norway around 1300. Personal unions with Denmark from 1397 to 1523 and again from 1536 to 1814 reduced its influence. After being destroyed by a fire in 1624, during the reign of King Christian IV, a new city was built closer to Akershus fortress and named Christiania in honor of the king. It became a municipality, for Manskapsdistrict, on January 1, 1838. The city functioned as the capital of Norway during the 1814 to 1905 union between Sweden and Norway. From 1877, the city's name was spelled Christiania in government usage, a spelling that was adopted by the municipal authorities in 1897. In 1925, the city, after incorporating the village retaining its former name, was renamed Oslo. In 1948, Oslo merged with Aker, a municipality which surrounded the capital and which was 27 times larger, thus creating the modern, much larger Oslo municipality. Oslo is the economic and governmental center of Norway. The city is also a hub of Norwegian trade, banking, industry, and shipping. It is an important center for maritime industries and maritime trade in Europe. The city is home to many companies within the maritime sector, some of which are among the world's largest shipping companies, shipbrokers, and maritime insurance brokers. Oslo is a pilot city of the Council of Europe and the European Commission Intercultural Cities Program. Oslo is considered a global city and was ranked Beta World City in studies carried out by the Globalization and World Cities Study Group and Network in 2008-17. It was ranked number 1 in terms of quality of life among European large cities in the European Cities of the Future 2012 report by FDI magazine. A survey conducted by ECA International in 2011 placed Oslo as the second most expensive city in the world for living expenses after Tokyo. In 2013, Oslo tied with the Australian city of Melbourne as the fourth most expensive city in the world, according to the Economist Intelligence Unit, EIU's Worldwide Cost of Living Study, 20. Oslo was ranked as the 24th most livable city in the world by Monocle magazine. Oslo's population was increasing at record rates during the early 2000s, making it the fastest growing major city in Europe at the time. This growth stems for the most part from international immigration and related high birth rates, but also from international migration. By 2010, the immigrant population in the city was growing somewhat faster than the Norwegian population, and in the city proper this had become more than 25% of the total population if the children of immigrant parents are included. I think of all of Scandinavia as one country, divided into 4 states: Denmark, Sweden, Finland, and Norway. I have never been to Iceland. Traveling among them is like traveling among New York, NJ, MA, and Maine. I didn't really see major differences since everyone learns English as a second language. There is a lot of great seafood restaurants, many coastlines, and wonderful friendly locals. Scandinavian law, also known as Nordic law, is the law of the 5 Nordic countries, namely Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Norway, and Sweden. It is generally regarded as a subgroup of civil law or as an individual legal body in itself. Prior to the 19th century, the European countries were independent in their administering and legality. However, in 1872, the Nordic countries organized legislative cooperation. Especially in areas of contracts and commerce, as well as those concerned with family, nationality, and extradition, the 5 states have obtained uniform legislation. One part of this is eminent domain, which in this case lets anyone walk along a beach and use any path to get to and from the beach without regard to property or property lines. This was great for my photography. Often when I walked around in the early morning by myself, I walked between the houses to get to and from the water. Many times I was offered coffee and pastries while passing. It works great in Scandinavia, but it would not work in the USA.